You are live on the internets on the video.
We are live on the internet. So
hello, Internet.
Hi, Internet. How y'all doing?
What is happening?
Do we have any of our regular
Everybody
gaggle
that
of
was
geese?
here left.
Of course they did, because we were taking too long getting things together. Oh, well. It's not the end of the world. That's a nice, refreshing drink, if I do say so, Mr. Graham.
It is quite nice.
Yeah, I like it.
I do enjoy it on this very muggy day.
What are you guys enjoying?
So we have this passion fruit liqueur called Chinola that we, pardon me, mixed with a little bit of vodka and a little bit of ginger ale over ice.
Yeah, 'cause it was like 90 degrees and super muggy today. So nice to have something just a little sweet and cold and tropical.
Yeah, and the passion fruit liqueur, it's all natural ingredients too, so it's a nice,
I could
fresh.
use some of that because I'm in Southwest Florida now. So yeah, it's hot like almost 80% of the time here.
I just spilled my beer.
Oh,
Rule that beers don't go on this side of me.
I mean, I very much, I don't know how to enforce that. We're getting there. Preseason. It's
You
preseason.
guys ever heard of Coco vodka?
You have no idea we've been doing this for 5 fucking years. Hey.
The video part is hard.
It's relatively new, yeah.
All right. There we go.
All right.
Oh, thank God no one's watching yet.
They can look. After the video's done, they can look back.
Yeah, exactly.
Although it's weird. It still says stream is starting soon, even though I started it.
Huh, okay.
I'm going to refresh, restream, and see what happens, because that's not on me.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, this, so what we use now is Video Ninja. It's what you use for, like, gamer streaming and stuff. And it's really good, except for it's got glitches.
It's
And
really
when
finicky,
and when
yeah.
it has glitches, it really has fucking glitches. So it's like 20 times it's fantastic, and then one time it's a fucking nightmare.
But the other thing is, it's not like you can look at every option and go, "Oh, there's the problem. Let me refresh this setting."
Yeah.
Right.
It's like 4 menus down in the deepest, darkest corner of the settings bar. Like it's weird shit.
Dark web, next to where you mine for Bitcoin and shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh, good Lord.
All right. Are we set up now?
Yeah, why not?
We're not. Okay. There we go. Yeah.
I said,
like it.
why not?
Yeah, we're not.
No, I said, why not?
Why not? Okay.
I said, yeah, why not? Not we're not. Dorks.
All right.
All right. Muting Nick. And you ready?
Yep. Here we go.
This is Nick. You're listening to the DU Football Show, Drunkard United. Of course, up the Blades and fuck the Owls.
Just like the old days, Sam. Bringing back old friends, just like last year with Fulham.
Just like this year with Roy Hodgson. Speaking of Owls.
Yeah, you thought they would have gotten rid of him.
Anytime we have to talk about Sheffield, I have to mention how much they missed the trick on Wednesday not hiring Roy Hodgson.
You know, it was a mistake by all.
Who? You mean
Let's start the show.
The land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of a lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to the DU Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by two common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me, my co-host. He's graduated from a man bun, to a fucking ponytail, Samuel Graham. Sammy, how you doing, bud?
Full pone is feeling good, buddy. Loving it.
Full pone, just like Bance. You're going to make that work, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, full pone.
You're definitely going to make it. And, of course, on the ones and twos, it's time to finally start introducing her. She's only been doing it for 6 years with us. Producer Mel. Producer Mel, how you doing?
I am great.
That's quite enough. We're recording at the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. We are available everywhere you get your podcast. And, of course, every single Monday we are streaming live on all your favorite streaming services. Should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Well, you could jump in the chats on those streaming services because Mel does monitor them during the show. So you can interact with us. If it's decent, she'll let us know. If it sucks, she'll just ignore it. Other than that, it's at DU Football Show on all the social medias and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch by email.
Christian's already questioning my promotion.
Christian, she saw Barbie, so we are all now changed. Or, as I like to always say, you can just Zoom your happy ass in or give us an old phone call, be old analog, as it were, as is tonight with our very good friend, Nick. Nick, how are you doing, good sir?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Excellent. It's great to talk to you again. Why don't you tell everybody who you root for?
I am a Sheffield United fan.
You know, it's so great. They finally get promoted back up to the Premier League, only to have the Owls still outdo them. Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. Mr. Graham, we have a beer and a cocktail to talk about because we're not doing injury time tonight.
Correct. We're going to run through the cocktail real quick because the other thing is more important, to be honest with you. The cocktail is made with Chinola, which is a passion fruit liqueur. This is 21% by volume, so 42 proof, made from fresh passion fruits from the Dominican Republic. It is fucking fantastic.
It is
and
really good.
This cocktail you did with ginger ale, vodka, and you put something else in it?
Chinola.
And Chinola, that was it. Okay.
So I
thought you added some sort of bitters for some
So I
reason.
did 2 ounces of Chinola because I wanted, obviously, the passion fruit liqueur to be the star. Gave it a little bit, since it's only 21%, 41 proof. I gave it a little bit of vodka, just an ounce, just to kind of give it a little bit more backbone. And then mixed in some ginger ale because ultimately, ginger ale or soda water, ginger ale is going to give it a little bit of sugar, which is going to amp up the sweetness, which is what I was looking for. I've had this spirit before. We had it when we went to the Repeal Day. Our really good friend Mary Kelly represents the brand, and damn, it's good.
It's very good.
It is really good.
And it was super hot and muggy today where we are. So I thought when I called you today to figure out what we were drinking tonight, I was like, hey, by the way, remember I got a sample of this the other day when my company picked this brand up, and let's do something fun and geeky and.
Yeah.
You know,
what's going to run you on
delicious.
the shelf?
So I don't remember the pricing yet.
Oh, very good.
I think you're somewhere around $27.99.
Yeah, it sounds right. Normally, high-end cordials are a touch under 30.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And what else are we drinking, Mr. Graham?
So this is the important bit, and there is a wee update. Apparently, the Sapporo company is deciding to close the doors of the Anchor Brewing Company in San Francisco, a 127-year-old formerly family-owned business that they bought for $85 million US dollars. Back in 2017, I think it was. They underwent a package change and COVID and everything just kind of shit the bed. And the brand is not profitable. And Sapporo's decided to close the doors. Now, the update is that the employees, about 60% of their workforce is unionized. And the union is now... Those employees are trying to band together and buy the brewery from Sapporo and treat it as kind of a co-op.
There you go. Go back to being a family-run business for crying out loud. It worked for 100 and some odd years before Sapporo bought them.
So the other piece to that is there is a timeline for the creditors to come in and liquidate the business. So that has to be done quickly. And apparently there are 12 interested purchasers of Anchor Brewing Company.
Good news for Anchor is they are in San Francisco. Might be a touch bit of internet money out there.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of money out there.
Somebody. Yeah.
Yeah, but the rent's not cheap.
No. Definitely not.
No, I mean, I think both Zuck and the other one, Musk, are missing the trick here, and either one of them could buy it and be the sole beverage sold at their celebrity boxing match that they're talking about doing.
I love it.
And neither one of them will miss the money. But no, so this is Anchor. This is their steam beer. Anchor Steam. It is an old classic, probably the first craft brew in the United States, period. 4.9% by volume. And again, Union made in San Francisco.
If you want something to compare it to, because a steam beer is its own thing, but I would say think of it as a slightly fizzier version of, say, like the casks ales that you get in England, or Red Hook ESB, that they extra special bitter, but it's not really overly bitter. It's just this nice malty, smooth beer, little bit of backbone, little bit of bite on the back end. It's clean. It's easy to drink. It's an old school classic, man. It's an old school classic. When we heard that it was being liquidated by Sapporo, you're just like, what the hell, man?
Yeah. So we had to pick up. Now the shame is I could only find it in cans. Of course, Mount Airy, one of my biggest stores, if not my biggest store, had one 12-pack sampler left.
Wow.
And it just so happened to have 3 steam beers in it.
There you go.
I did have their Mexican Pilsner, or Mexican Lager, rather. Actually quite decent.
Excellent.
I had their, I think it was a Bohemian Pilsner, was also very good. And then they had a West Coast IPA, which was delicious. I finished those all yesterday, which is probably why I was yawning through sound check.
That would make a lot of sense. Well, what else do we need to do, Mr. Graham?
Always remember to drink responsibly.
Excellent. So let's go ahead and get into it, kids. Big cheers around.
Yes.
Let's keep Mel away from the board. All right. So each summer we start with a little series and we call it Getting to Know You. And what we like to do is we like to do 3 separate shows and we like to highlight the 3 clubs that are newly promoted.
Yes.
Now that sometimes, like in the case of this one, in the case of last year with Fulham and Bournemouth, these are clubs that are coming back up that, in
recent memory have been up.
Right. So these are clubs we've talked about before. And of course, that is who we're talking about today with Sheffield United and with Nick. And Nick, I want to make sure before the end of the show, you get a chance. You're going to plug everything people need to know about the Blades here in the USA and how to get in touch with them. But it's been a few years since the Blades have been in the Prem and since you've done the show with us. So why don't you refresh everybody's memory? What is it that got you into Sheffield United?
Yeah, but so I first got into the Blades by just by getting into the championship. Really, I was passionate about English football ever since I was really probably coming up around 16. I got into it, and obviously playing FIFA all my life. I've kind of always been curious, and so I started doing research on some championship clubs, and I found out that Sheffield United were founded on my birthday, March 22nd. So I figured, I could share a birthday with them. So why not go for them? So, and then I found they were from the Steel City, as am I. So yeah.
Actually, it's not surprising for a lot of people to hear, especially here in America, how many people got into their clubs from FIFA.
From FIFA, absolutely.
Very much so. Really got into the clubs from FIFA.
That was really our only insight back in the day. I mean, when I was coming up, 14, 15, there was, some stuff in the newspaper. Like, they may post the scores, but it was in, like, a little blurb. They didn't even have a blurb about the games. They would just have the scores there, and that was it. But, it all changed, of course, and I've said this many times. When Fox Sports put out that pay cable channel called Fox Sports World, that was our first insight, and they kind of that was our first insight to Sky Sports News and all that kind of stuff, and Sky Sports, just their streams of not streams, but their coverage of games, and that's all we could get. I mean, we saw Match of the Day here before I saw a live game.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, sorry. So, where did the nickname the Blades come from? Obviously, you said they were from the Steel City, so I assume that has something to do with it.
Yeah, they were forming steel. It's mainly based on steel. It's mainly the steel was manufactured, and they built bunches of things with steel there. So
with the ore and everything.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So they're iron workers basically, and steel workers, all in the Yorkshire area.
Basically, on the next slide, yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Well, then let's go ahead and get into the next question. I already made a veiled reference at it earlier, and I'm sure you've got some rather interesting thoughts about them. Why don't you tell us about who your biggest rivalry is?
Yeah. So our biggest rival is the Sheffield Wednesday. That's kind of difficult for me to say. They were formed in 1867. Sheffield were actually the founding city of football. So in England, basically you had Sheffield FC, which was the first association football club in England, and they were formed in 1857. So Wednesday were just beaten by 10 years. So
very good. Now, obviously, they have just gotten promoted back up to the championship. I'm sure you took great pleasure when they went down to League One. Who in the Premier League would be the closest geographically to you guys as a team?
I would say Leeds. As much as I dislike them, they're down now.
Yep,
they're down now, yeah. Oh God, let's see.
Forest, maybe?
Forest, yeah, that.
Leicester's kind of near there.
But Leicester's down too.
Well, but they're down too as
Leicester's
well.
down.
Yeah. It'd have to be one of the Birmingham clubs, then, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Probably the Birmingham.
It'd have to be the Birmingham clubs.
Yeah. So
I would probably say Forest, just because they're probably up north. They're more up north, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. So who is coaching the side now? And what style of play do you guys have? I remember us talking last time when y'all went down. We had discussed those last 4 or 5 games of the season. Almost felt like the team gave up. Like, what are we to expect from your style of play now? And how is that going to translate to the Premier League again?
Yeah. Now we had Chris Wilder for how long? Well, probably like 4 or 5 years. And then once we had that terrible season and went down, we got Paul Heckingbottom, and then that just transformed us right back up to where we needed to be again.
So Heckingbottom's been handling the team since?
I'm sorry, say again?
So has Heckingbottom be handling the team since?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. Very cool. Now, real quick, so you're going back to a question here. Your last visit to the Prem, you had a great season, an absolute dream season in year 1, and then a complete nightmare, obviously, in year 2. What do you think this time in the championship has prepared you now for what you're about to experience in the Prem this time?
Well, I think, it's the championship is, I always believed it's one of the toughest leagues, if not the toughest league, probably in all of England. Certainly one of the toughest leagues in the world to get out of in terms of promotion. The physicality of the league, it's very gritty.
Well, that also
not
comes
grassroots, but it's very physical.
Well, Nick, that also comes with the 8,557 league matches you have to play in the championship too, it feels like.
It's a long old slog that season.
Yeah, you got to play midweeks too. So, yeah, it's a physical toll. I'm sure we'll be happy with the every weekend sort of play instead of the midweeks.
So what do you think you guys have this time that you didn't have the last time that's going to kind of keep you up and keep you going?
Well, I think we have new management. I think we have we'll have new transfers coming in. So we'll, I think just our flow of play is just really, really clean, really, really smooth. Our players link up really well, and they really, really work well together.
Yeah, I'll tell you, and Sam, you go ahead and ask the next question. But one of the things that's, Sheffield was very undernoticed simply because Burnley was a freight train, right?
Yeah.
This season,
past season,
yeah.
Burnley was just unstoppable.
Burnley killed it this year, yeah.
You look at the numbers, Sheffield was secure pretty safely with about a month left in.
Yeah, it was only a few games after Burnley was, to be honest with you. It wasn't much longer.
Their goal differential was fantastic. Their points were high as hell. It just went completely unnoticed because Burnley was just insane.
Until they reached that FA Cup tie at the Etihad.
Well, we'll get to that.
And then that freight train came to a screeching halt. So is anyone from the previous Premier League team from your club still with the club? Players that anybody would recognize?
Well, our best player that I remember most was Billy Sharp, and he's now gone. But we have John Fleck, we have Oliver Norwood, Oliver McBurney, Brewster, former Liverpool youth player. Also Jefferson as well, another youth player. But and Dye as well, Senegal international.
Oh yeah, Dye,
he was like the standout player this year.
Awesome.
It was amazing.
So go ahead and briefly, we kind of talked about it a little bit with what Burnley did and how your season kind of got overlooked a little bit. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what happened for you guys last season in the championship and discuss a little bit about your FA Cup round? I mean, you made it to Wembley, for crying out loud.
Yes, that was a joy too. Shame we lost, but it was a fun run for sure. That's I always tell everyone that's my favorite time of the year, FA Cup. So so everyone says the magic is dead. I say that's bullshit, and
same.
It's never gonna die.
You guys in Wrexham, that match was freaking phenomenal.
That shit was fucking wild.
It was a great match.
So fantastic.
Do you know how much money I lost on a game?
Oh, I know.
25 smackaroos.
Yep, I know.
Yep.
So, how about the rest of the season in the championship? Obviously, you finished in second, but talk a little bit about how that season went for you.
Well, we got promoted, so I'm happy.
So great.
I'm delighted in the fact that we can play in the Premier League again. We can show our face. We can. We got robbed of Europe in the first dream season that we had. So hopefully we'll have another chance to do that.
Very good. So,
all right, so
Mr. Graham, ask the big one.
To wrap up this section of the show, the big question, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
What are your expectations for the club this season? Are you staying up? Are you going down? Is it by the skin of your teeth? Are you qualifying for Europe? What's going to happen here?
I would say we will stay up. I think we have the potential to stay up. I think with we have a good defense too. So we've had basically a sturdy defense ever since Wilder left. So we basically had we still have Egan, Basham, Baldock, Osborne, and Hodges as well. He's been a key player. And then I think we'll probably finish we'll finish 15th, 16th.
Okay,
good,
but comfortable, not like scraping by on the last day of the season. You think you're going to be
probably pretty comfortable,
relatively comfortable? Okay.
Excuse me, Mr. Graham. We call that pulling an Everton. So we are in the midst of the summer transfer window, or as some like to affectionately call it, the silly season. Let's go ahead and chat about what the Blades are doing in the silly season right now. So first off, who are major departures from your club? Because I know in a championship team, there's typically a lot of Premier League youth that gets loaned out. Did you have anybody that got loaned back to their clubs from you from last season?
I don't believe we have anybody loaned, but we do have people loaned in. Let me see here. I'm not sure. No, I don't think we did.
Okay, very good.
I do see we did get James McAfee from Man City. We got some championship or Premier League, shall we say, royalty in the squad. So yeah.
Is that so far your only signing of the summer?
No. We've had a couple more. We've had Benny Traore from Hacken. He's a center forward. We had Ben Slimani. I think he was a former Premier League player, if I remember.
Is that the cat that went to Bournemouth? Maybe Slimani. It might be. I don't remember exactly, so don't quote me on that one.
I might have been thinking of another Slimani. We did get Reda Cadro as well. He was a Brighton. He was at Brighton.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And yeah.
All right. So
we just got him.
Okay. So then the final question for this segment, then, just to kind of wrap that up, what are the pieces you think you still need to improve the side?
I'd say, Billy Sharp was always a key force, no matter how old he is. So I think we could get a nice striker in there. We do have Brewster, we do have Ndai, but I do want to see one more brought in just for added security. We do have a good midfield as well, so I'm excited to see what our midfield can do. It was great last season. We linked up well. We played mainly through the middle, and we linked up well through there. So I'm really excited to see what we can do this year.
After Billy Sharp leaving the club, not only was he a decent enough player despite his age the last time you guys were up, he was also quite the emotional leader. Is that difficult for y'all to replace? Is there somebody in the side now that is kind of taking that over? I mean, I don't remember Ollie Norwood, for instance, being, beating his chest in front of the in front of the main stand, you know what I mean? Like riling everybody up. So who's going to do that for you guys?
I would say probably Basham, or I would say maybe Egan.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can Billy Sharp. My thing is, you can't replace Billy Sharp just because he was a boyhood. This was his club.
It was absolute legend, 100%. Yeah. I'm with you.
Well, and Egan was with the club previously, wasn't he? With the club when you were in the Prem? So yeah, that's going to be somebody who already knows what's going on. He's going to be able to say to the other lads,
as they say,
hey,
he knows the club.
Yeah, he knows the club.
Yeah.
All right, good, very, very good. No, you're good with keeper and defense. You don't think there's any more, any more signings you need to really make besides striker to shore you up?
I would say if anything, we could probably use a keeper too. I mean, we have Fotheringham, but he's been pretty good this year. This year too.
Mm-hmm. All right, good.
So pretty happy with our squad all around.
Excellent. Well, I love it. Well, that's going to wrap it up, boys and girls. Nick, thank you so much for joining us again. Please take a moment. I want you to plug away, tell everybody where they can find out more about the Blades in the USA, where they could find local supporters clubs, viewing parties, all that good stuff. The floor is yours. Plug away. If there's a Blades specific podcast you want to plug that too, so people can learn more about your club.
Cool. So I don't have any fan clubs around my local area at the moment, but you go on SUFC.com. I'm sure they do have local, like find a bar near me section.
Okay, very cool.
Where you can check out your local area where they show Premier League matches. You can find my Instagram. I post news, transfers, basically everything Blades related. You can find me at Blades in the USA, all one word.
Yeah, that's where we met.
Yes, that's true. Yes, that is true. Let's see. What else?
Hey, Nick.
Yes.
You're in Florida, right?
I am. Yes, I just moved here. Yep.
What part of Florida?
We are in Fort Myers.
Oh, I was just there.
You were just here.
Well,
When?
I was close. I was in Fort Myers Beach area, the region.
Oh, okay, Fort Myers Beach area. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
visiting my sister. It's been some terrible humidity.
Yes, very much so. You know, I moved from Maryland to North Carolina, and I thought their humidity was bad. I moved down here. It's constant heat.
Constant heat.
Constant.
All right, good. And are there any Sheffield United related podcasts that you like to listen to that kind of do very specifically Blades related material that you want to share with anybody?
Yeah, I think I have a few on YouTube. Let me pull it up here. I got a full list of them right here.
It's a shame, Nick. You left Maryland before we legalized weed.
I know. Oh well, I got my med card down here, so I'm always. I always have my ways. I always have my ways.
Good for you. We call it fresh air on the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man, I'm always smoking, so yeah, that's how I function. But yeah, my podcast. You can watch the Sheffield United Way happily. I really like them. I highly recommend them. I watch them on YouTube. Show and View is another great one. They do match day vlogs. That's one of my favorites. That's mainly the two that I listen to. There's a bunch more that I'm just waiting to discover.
Excellent. Very good. Love it. All right, that's going to do it. Mr. Graham, any parting words?
Yeah, real quick, something everybody should try to find out, and I hope that it isn't a foreshadowing on the Blade season this year. But did anybody happen to catch the non-league Gateshead, maybe? I can't remember exactly who it was. A very small club, but the story's everywhere right now, so you should see it. Two supporters, unhappy with the way the board and ownership group are doing things, drove a car and a hearse onto the field and started doing donuts in the middle of their preseason game that had to be abandoned. Left the hearse in the center circle as a vague, not so
you don't
vague.
Take the hearse with you.
Not so vague threat to the ownership group.
Yeah.
All the while doing the donuts, we're hurling flyers out the window. No one's allowed on the pitch, so I don't know who's supposed to go collect those.
That might be a miss on the marketing campaign.
Park the hearse in the center circle, get out of the car, jump into the other vehicle, who I guess was owned by someone.
Always got to have a
And
getaway.
then they just scooted right out of there. Just got the fuck out of Dodge and left the hearse in the middle of the field.
Have they been caught or?
Not that I know of. It's been so far so good.
Hero
Smooth
of the
sailing.
As Johnny Drama would often say, victory!
Yeah. So it happened this weekend. We had Nick on today. I really hope it's not a foreshadowing on their season, but fun to see nonetheless.
Excellent. All right. So later on in the week, we're going to chat Luton Town. And next week after that, we're going to have our good buddy Brett on to talk all things about the new and improved Burnley. And finally, when you get a chance, please check out our Drip Shack for all the best DU merch. That is pinned to our link tree.
Preseason.
Yes, it is. Well, and while we
Shack?
talk about preseason,
That would
we're
be shack, not sack.
well,
We do have.
Check out that Drip Sack.
You can get a logoed sack at our Drip Shack.
very good.
You could also enjoy your placing your order while enjoying a Liqueur 43 and Tiger Nut Milk.
Yeah, apparently, as we talked about on Soundcheck. And how does one get Soundcheck, Mr.
Oh,
Graham?
very easy, actually. It's patreon.com/DU Football Show. And just sign up to that one glorious $5 tier and you get all the extra content.
Yep, I absolutely love it. Well, Nick, thank you so much again for joining us, man. You were absolute blast, brother.
Awesome, man. Thank you for having me, guys.
All right. Till next week, everybody.
Good night.